That is hardcore.
This is hardcore shit.
But for me, it gets harder and harder to resist.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hardcore Horror with Mike and Bridget. Bridget, what's going on over there?
What's up? How's it going?
Good. We've got a show tonight. We got a guest. Who we got coming on tonight?
We have got the amazing Michael Tanner Flynn.
Michael Tanner Flynn.
What does he do? He's been on the podcast a few times, but oh my God, he's
absolutely.
like a jack of all trades.
It's Wild World Productions is what he does, and all kinds of stuff. We'll talk about it later on. Yeah, we'll get into that. Yeah, absolutely. Very cool to have him back on again. So, not a lot going on, really. The summer is here. We got some movies coming out pretty soon. We got Maxine coming out. Next month, we got Maxine coming out. Long Legs is coming out. You're looking forward to this stuff. I'm really looking forward to both of those.
Me too. I was even telling Tracy the other day, I was like, Long Legs, I actually want to see this one in the movie theater.
I am definitely going to see it in the movie theater. Both of them, actually. Both those are theater visits for me. There was one that came out this last week or maybe the week before. It was the Exorcism movie with Russell Crowe. And he just did one called The Pope's Exorcist not too long ago. And they're actually working on a sequel of that. But in this one, he plays the guy getting, having to need the exorcism. And the only reason I mention it is I don't really think it might. I don't know if it's good or not, but I do find it interesting because it's basically about, say, the guy who played the priest in The Exorcist got possessed afterward, but it's directed by the son of the guy who played the priest in The Exorcist.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
so it's Russell Crowe. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So you saying they're getting ready to do part 2 or
they're getting ready to shoot part 2 of The Pope's Exorcist, which that's something that came out a while ago, like maybe a year or two ago. But the one that he's in now, because he's in another movie about exorcism where he plays the victim, sort of.
Pretty cool. Did you see the one that he did prior?
The Pope's Exorcist?
Yep, the Pope Exorcist.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I mean, it's all right. It's not.
It's all right.
It's all right. He does a good job. He kind of gives a lot of humor to it and stuff. It's a pretty decent one. Yeah, but this one is the new one here is called The Exorcism, and it's directed by Joshua John Miller, and that is the son of the Miller guy from The Exorcist. So pretty cool.
That's interesting. I'm really weird with exorcism movies because after The Exorcist, it set the bar pretty high,
Oh yeah, I mean, there's nothing that really tops it, but there's a few that are like stragglers that are like okay, they have their merits that I find that are just watchable. I mean, I feel like most of them are kind of unwatchable or just like
Yeah.
Like kind of like with a lot of zombie movies now and a lot of shark movies, stuff like that. But at the same time, there are a few that are like, yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's nowhere near The Exorcist, but it's still a pretty good movie, for what it is. They all still rip off The Exorcist, they have their own things, but this is just an interesting premise. So I do want to check it out. So I was in Cracker Barrel the other day, and they've already got Halloween stuff out.
Oh, seriously?
Seriously, Halloween stuff out. Now, Cracker Barrel, at least where I'm at, is very weird because they start holidays, man. Like, holidays take up most of the year. Like, they start their holiday, like, Halloween is, like, out now. I think next month is when they're going to start Christmas. Like, seriously, they just go all out with the holidays. But, yeah, I walked in, and this skeleton started, like, talking, and I'm like, what is going on? So, yeah, but we're getting close. So, here in a couple months, we'll start seeing them everywhere. So, looking forward to.
So awesome. So, Cracker Barrel has some badass Halloween decor, for real. I bought some really cool pieces in there. When you were saying the talking skeleton, a couple years ago, we bought a skeleton from there. I mean, it was around $200. It's pretty expensive, but he's got these eyes that are. His eyes are like, they light up and he looks around and he's pretty gnarly. So it's cool stuff.
Yeah. You should go check them out. They're already here and probably a lot of places. They're already out. So Very cool.
Cracker
Very cool.
Barrel, spooky decor. Who would have thought, right?
Well, hey, I'm happy every time I see it anywhere. It's like, yeah. Um,
Yes.
so, not a lot going on really. I went to McKay's today and got some movies. Yeah, did you know that McKay's is not? It's not like a national chain or anything. There's only like 5 or 6 of them.
Oh, I did not know that. So, what
Yeah,
McKay's do you go to? Like, which ones around you?
Knoxville.
Not okay, Knoxville. Okay,
Yeah,
so we have one in Bellevue. I think it's Bellevue.
yes, yep. I used to live in Bellevue and I went there a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Uh,
You know, I've only been there one time, and
really? Oh my God.
really,
You
yeah.
have to go. You have to just go a lot. I would.
I was like so overwhelmed in there. I was
It
so
is
overwhelmed.
overwhelming. It is
Mhm.
overwhelming because there's like just piles upon piles of movies to get, but they have like this whole big section that's really really cheap and everything. But yeah, there's one in Chattanooga, there's one in Knoxville, one in Nashville. I think there's a couple in either North or South Carolina, something like that. So yeah, not a whole lot of them, but if you're near one or you're going by one, you should check it out because it's a really good place to get movies or books or music, just a little bit of everything media wise, you know.
Did you buy any movies?
Yeah, I bought a bunch of movies.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
name a couple of them.
Let me see. I got that Five Girls with Ron Perlman was one of them. It's Alive was another one. I got a bunch of like TV series that are not horror related, but like for like $1 a piece, and it's like these are movies that when they came out were like $40, $50 a piece. You know,
Oh wow,
it's just amazing how much value they have dropped. But yeah, you can find a lot of good stuff in there. I have gotten a lot of good stuff. I also take stuff to trade too. I took a lot of stuff to trade in because they'll buy your movies too, and they'll either give you money or credit back. So essentially, I just end up swapping basically today. So it's
I should do
it's
that.
a pretty good deal.
I still have like a lot of old like movies from when my kid was like little, like cartoons,
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to get rid of some of that. So what do they give you for like a decent DVD or Blu-ray?
I mean, it's not really like that. It's like you just take your stuff and put it in a bin. You give them the bin, and they take it back and they assert whatever value they want for it, and then they give you a number. Whenever it's done, you bring your number up, and they tell you how much they'll give you for what you brought. And it's usually like a certain amount. It's usually like 2 options. You get like a store credit amount or like money, cash, and store credit. Like usually, but obviously the cash and the credit's usually less than how much the whole credit is if you just get that. But and then sometimes they won't take stuff and they'll say, well, we didn't accept this. You can have it back if you want. But you don't really know exactly. But they're honestly usually pretty fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not usually too bad. I mean, yes, I've been there a couple times and thought, well, I didn't get that much for it. So I really think it's just more like demand, maybe like what they have in store and what they're wanting and maybe what's in value at the time. Or there's just like, but yeah, I mean, typically I think they give you pretty decent, like, you're not going to get like full retail price or anything for a used movie or nothing like that.
Yeah, totally.
But
I was like, what do they get? Like, give you like 50 cents a movie, but I guess it really depends then.
Yeah, it really does depend. But yeah, there's been a couple times where I really just brought like a few movies in and I thought like they did a really good deal. Then I brought like a whole bunch in once and I thought, well, that wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, so you just never really know, but you don't have to take it. If you don't like the offer, you can say, I don't want the offer and you just get your stuff back. But yeah, it's usually pretty good. And then you can just take that credit if you're going to buy other stuff like I would be doing anyway. Then you just apply it to that and you're good.
Nice. Okay. So cool. Yeah. I mean, I have a lot of movies I could come off of. I always try to like sell them in yard sales, and I feel like nobody really buys movies at yard sales anymore. I guess because of streaming.
Right. Right. I mean, you just got to find the place and the people because I mean, obviously, media is live and well in certain places. Like there. I mean, there was a lot of people there. I mean, they were looking at movies and books and just everything. But yeah, I mean. Every year it's probably going to get less and less, but I mean, I'm glad that they're out there that we can go and get some cheap stuff. So, So let's keep talking about movies. And the last podcast I mentioned something about Redbox. You remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, of
Remember
course.
I was talking about how like Redbox hasn't been updated since Barbie came out around here and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I just saw a little news article today. Redbox reportedly files for bankruptcy.
Oh, wow. That is
Yeah.
Saw that one coming, didn't you?
I saw that one coming. Yeah, I did. So now I don't know what all this means for everything. So Chicken Soup for the Soul. You know, I'm talking about the books and whatever, all that stuff. They're the one that bought. Yeah, they bought Redbox. It's kind of weird. They bought it like a few years ago, but like it was already in debt at that point, I guess, and never got out. So, but they have that and Crackle. You know, the Crackle streaming service.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't do that. Okay.
I've watched a few things on there, but I don't watch it too much. But anyway, so it's all in debt, I guess. I don't know if it's just Redbox itself or if it's the whole company, but I think it might just be Redbox itself. But yeah, you know, and so I guess Redbox had lost that settlement I was talking about with NBC or Universal, and so they owe them like, I don't know, they were supposed to pay them and $4 million. They didn't pay them, so now they may have to pay them the total sum that they owe, which is like $16.7 million, which is a lot of money.
It is.
If you're in the red already. So yeah, they're filing for bankruptcy. So see, though, you can look to see those kiosks being gone pretty soon.
It must be why they didn't update from the Barbie movie.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that's going to be no more. So the days of renting movies, there's still a few mom and pop stores, but man, it is really, really slim.
Dude, you want to know something crazy? You just jogged something in my memory. So I'm like a treasure hunter, so I love antiquing and stuff like that. And I went to the Nashville flea market last weekend, and this guy literally had at his booth, he had a Blockbuster card, and he had it framed, and it was like $25. And I was like, is that a joke or something? He goes, oh, no. He's like, no, I've sold a couple of them. I'm like, that is the craziest thing.
That's funny, though. That's funny.
Yeah.
Something you can't. I don't know what happened to mine. I wonder. That's weird. I probably have it still, honestly. Yeah, those things are definitely a thing of the past.
Yeah. Frame it and frame it and hang it on your wall.
Right. So yeah,
I should have took a picture of that for you. I was like, oh my God, it's a Blockbuster card. That's so funny.
Yeah. Well, you know, the next generation is going to be like, what was Blockbuster? Not that the younger one now doesn't even know. But so that was the physical stuff. Now let's talk just a little bit about the digital age stuff. So, you know, at the forefront of it, you know, back when it was really just Netflix, you know, was the streaming giant. It really was the only one that had any clout whatsoever. Like before, like Disney Plus started and all these other ones have sprouted up now. Since then, we had Hulu and Netflix. Those were like really the two main ones, you know?
Yeah, I remember Hulu when I first got Hulu. I ended up canceling the service because the movies would kind of cut in and out, and get
really
glitchy and staticky. Like that was when Hulu first, when I was like, "This is bullshit. I'm not paying for this shit." You know.
Well, Hulu used to be free.
Oh, so I don't even remember that. This was like, oh man, I wish I could even remember what year this was. I mean, a long time ago.
Yeah.
Netflix would come out obviously first, and I had Netflix, and I love Netflix, so I was like, oh, let me try this Hulu, and I was like, man, I'm canceling this. This is terrible.
Yeah. Well, when it first came out, it was free, and then it started. You had to pay for it, and then it was slowly like. Then there was a couple commercials, and now it's full on commercials, pretty much, unless you pay to not have the commercials. That kind of a deal.
You still have to pay for it now, right? So you're paying for it with commercials.
Yes, you have to pay for it with commercials now. It doesn't. There's no way around it. You can't. There's nothing free about it anymore. It hasn't been for a long time. But
it's so dumb to me. It's so dumb to me because you have, you've got like Tubi and Plex and a few places out there you can watch movies with commercials. That's free.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, basically, they're getting their money through their advertisers. That's the way it is. But Hulu's getting money through their advertisers and from you. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but okay. So while that was going on, it was just those two really. A lot of the studios were trying to really implement purchasing digital codes, like movies, digital movies. With codes, a lot of them with codes, but some of them just direct purchases. So you had these things like iTunes and, you had Vudu. Well, Vudu actually started out being, when it first started, it was more like a softcore service. Did you know that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was kind of like, it was kind of like late night Skinemax kind of stuff. But anyway, yeah, it was. This is before Walmart bought it. Anyway, so, but you had that, and you had like there was other ones too, like Google Play and stuff like that. So they were trying to. There was a big focus on that. Now I was not really into the digital stuff for a long time, so like I had a few copies, like through some of my movies that I bought, physical copies that had the digital codes and stuff, but I never really used them for the longest time. So I missed like the first wave of all that. And the first wave of all that, from what I've heard, was like pretty good because it was like. Well, initially you had to take your movies to once Walmart bought Vudu, you had to take your movies to Walmart to get them converted into digital. Did you know that?
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah,
That is crazy.
It's crazy, right? Yeah. And then eventually they implemented where you could scan, like through a disk drive through like your computer, you could scan you could like put your disk in, and then you could purchase a digital version of it. But during that time period, they said it was like, you buy like 10 for $1, 10 for maybe $1 each. I don't know, but it was like a lot. You would get like a pretty good deal. And then a lot of the codes that they used to have back in the day, a lot of them like used to work really good, I guess. Like they worked multiple times, so you could like spread them around to the community of whoever wanted them. So there was a lot of I guess you would say Wild West going on there. And then when I got into the digital game, it was about 2018. And it was still pretty good, but that stuff had gone away. The digital conversion through Vudu was $2 at that point. And then, but there was a lot of codes. There was a lot of free stuff because Walmart owned Vudu at that time. So there was a lot of they would give you a lot of free credits and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They would give you free credits just for watching stuff or buying stuff in Walmart. They would really pushing it really hard. And so you were really able to really get a lot of movies at that point. And there was just a lot of other programs and like just incentives to do it. Mm-hmm. But as the years gone on, and now all these streaming services have sprung up, they're getting less and less. And what they're trying to do, I think they're just trying to really kind of, I don't know about phase it out, but really make it where it's just like go to Vudu and purchase a movie for $20. Although, their terms say that you don't really own the movie. Like, technically, if they lose the complete rights to the movie, you won't have the movie anymore. That's what it says. So I do not feel comfortable paying $25 for a movie that I might not get to keep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because that's ridiculous. $25.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then, you could always lose your account somehow. There's just different things that could happen, go wrong there as opposed to physical copies. But anyway, all that's, once Vudu got sold to Fandango, all that stuff stopped, the credits and all that stuff. You can still do the conversions, but they don't add as many new titles. They don't add as many new titles anymore to it or anything like that. But also, there's a lot of these other reward programs have stopped. Universal had one that they give you free movies every month. That stopped now. Sony had the same thing. It's stopped now. So they're really trying to make it where, again, either you get on their streaming sites for sure, mm-hmm. or you pay full price for that digital copy, or you don't get to watch it. So, and they still do codes in the Blu-rays and stuff now, but I think I feel like that will probably phase out in the future.
Yeah. God, that's the craziest thing to me. Like, I didn't even know about the codes and all that. I had no idea. Didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and there's definitely ways that you can get and build up a good library. And again, it was a lot easier in the old days, even as close as 2018, 2019. But even before that, for sure, from the sounds of it. But yeah, nowadays it's a little bit harder to do. You can still do it, but you just have to pay. You're going to have to pay more money. But yeah, I think that eventually what it's going to be is like you won't have any codes. It's just going to be purchase this digitally or buy the movie physically. Or if they stop the physical copies completely, then you'll definitely have to purchase it. Just purchase it on the digital site or get their streaming service. So they're really trying to push the streaming services because I guess they're not making as much money as they want. But that's just the way it goes.
Wow, that's crazy. Speaking of hard copies, I was thinking the other day that I've got to figure out some kind of like how to display them lovely. Like you've got a pretty cool display. I've seen your movie collection. You've got like an entire wall pretty much, right?
Yeah, it's just a wall. I mean, that's not. If I put all of the movies in there, it'd be like 2 walls. But yeah, that's.
oh shit! Really? Where do you keep the rest of them at?
The rest of them are downstairs. I've got like totes, like a tote or two down there.
I remember looking at your daughter was cracking me up. I looked there and I said, "So now, what your dad wants you to do is put them in alphabetical order for him." And she just kind of looked at me and you were like, "She's just kidding," because that's just serious. And imagine that entire wall of movies. But
Yeah.
It's I got to come up with a cool display like that or something. I can definitely fill up. I don't have as many as you. I could probably fill up about a half of a wall, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's addictive. Once you start collecting, it's like because again, you can get them so cheaply now, as opposed to 10, 15 years ago. That you just go, oh man, why not? For $1, $2, $3, why not? Why not take a chance on something that you wouldn't take a chance on when they were 15, 20, back in the day? Because you'd probably want to know what it is, what you're getting into. But I could take it. I'll take a chance on a movie for a couple bucks.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorite things about collecting is like the special slip covers. I love the really cool slip covers. Sometimes they'll come out with a slip cover that's specific and limited edition, and I'm all I'm all about the cool slip covers. I've got some pretty gnarly ones too.
Well, you won't get that stuff for $2 usually, unless you just look up. You can sometimes, but that's a harder deal. But yeah, I'll tell you, Umbrella Entertainment. I like them. They come out with a lot of really cool stuff. Now their big special packages usually is a little pricey, but they do a lot of cool stuff now, and they're in Australia. But that's where I've got my Martyrs and my Possession and all this stuff from there. It's Australia, but it's region free, so you can play it in anything. But they have pretty cool designs, and you should check out some of their stuff because they have a lot of good stuff.
So you said it's the website's just Umbrella?
It's Umbrella Entertainment, yeah.
Umbrella Entertainment. Okay, cool. All right, I'll definitely check that out.
All right, cool. Well, let's go to movies. What have you been watching?
So I don't have a very long list, but I do have some good ones on there.
Right.
Last movie I watched was The Hunt for the BTK Killer.
BTK.
BTK.
There's a few movies of BTK, but I don't know if I've seen this one.
So the only other one that I've seen was like loosely based off of it, which was the Clove Hitch Killer. This one was The Hunt for the BTK is definitely 100% based off of him, and it's more kind of like the story of them trying to find him. And you know what? I didn't know a whole lot about it. I didn't realize that he had stopped, killing for 30 years.
Oh yeah, for a long, long time. He just had to get back in it.
Yep. He started getting a little cocky there, and that bit him in the ass. I can't remember the guy's name that played him, but he did a really great job, and he looked just like him too. So, It was pretty cool. There's a movie came out in 2005, so it was
Hmm.
worth a watch. I think you can watch it on Tubi.
There's another
Um,
one. There's
yeah.
another one that Kane Hodder plays him, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I've seen it, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I'll have to check that out. Yeah.
sounds like interesting casting, but yeah.
Yeah. So I did a rewatch of today, The Taking of Deborah
The
Logan.
Logan, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Taken.
I've heard you talk about that one before.
Oh
So
yeah,
I
oh yeah.
saw it when it first came out.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't even remember what year that was. It was a long time ago.
It's been a while, yeah.
And I haven't, was it 2009? I think it was 2009. And so I haven't seen it since then. So I'd forgotten a lot about it. Forgot how good it is.
It's so good,
And
yeah.
I'm not very big on found footage movies, but this one's a good one. It's a really good one. The storyline's completely different from anything else I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can handle the shaky camera, it's the only thing. It's the only thing I don't like about the found footage movies. The shaking camera, and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to have a seizure over here.
I mean, it doesn't bother me, to be honest. It's not too bad. It's not like, I mean, there's a few scenes that, are really shaky, but overall, it's not enough to take me out of the movie, usually. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, like with Blair Witch, was very shaky there in certain points, but yeah, I mean, I'm like you. I don't love found footage as a whole, but like this is definitely one of the best.
Agreed. This is a good one. It's different. And that's what I liked about it. I was like, oh, this is really different. And it's creepy. It's really creepy.
It is creepy. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's a good, when they do things like this, when they have this sort of allegory, for mental illness or something that's happening in real life, it works pretty effectively. And I think it really does with this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah. So if you have not seen that movie, check it out. It's pretty good. So I did a rewatch of Death Breed. Have you ever seen Death Breed?
Oh yeah, so that's the one I saw. That was the first one I saw. You not too long after we started the podcast, because you were telling me about it. This is the one that has the 3 different movies together, right? Am I right?
Yep. It's,
yeah.
Bloody Moon Productions. So it's Ben Dixon's movies, and so I saw it. When he did the premiere at Full Moon Cineplex. That was 2019. So I went to the premiere, and I haven't seen it since. Randomly just scrolling on Tubi, and I was like, "Oh my God, Death Breed! I'm totally gonna watch it." And Tracy has a part in it too. So I was like, "Yeah, I gotta watch it." I will say it's not great because he's taking clips of 3 full feature films and putting it into like a short. So some of the storyline like kind of doesn't make sense. But I mean, you get it. But I'd rather watch a full feature.
Yeah, I guess I don't really understand the whole concept of it, because he put that one out at the same time I know he's had them made, or the other one was made for a while, but they were released right at the same time. That one and Old Habits Die Hard was released around the same time, I think.
Oh,
at least
from Death Breed?
Well, I know, like I said, I know he made it and he released it himself a while back, years ago. But I'm talking about commercially was released the same time, I think.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What I mean is like on a Vudu and stuff like that, because that's where I watched Death Breed. I think they were released at the same time. I could be wrong, but my thinking is you got this movie, which is just comprised of 3 movies. You're already putting out one of them anyway. Why don't you just put out the other 2? The only work you're putting in is just one more extra movie. Why not put them all 3 out? I don't know. There may be reasons.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could be, and it is cool that so since he took like little parts of 3 full films, you got a lot of like big names in there. You got Kane Hodder, Lena Quigley, Gunnar Hansen, Trisha Cast, Edwin Neal, Lloyd Kaufman. I mean, the list just goes on and on. It's full of like known horror actors. So I mean, it's definitely worth a watch for sure. So let's see, what else have I seen? Oh, okay, here's a good one. I believe you've seen this one, because I think we've talked about it. It's called Excision. Am I saying that right? Excision.
Yep. Excision.
Excision. From 2008. I freaking love it. I'm a gore whore. This is the perfect movie for Gore Wars. And it was funny. I don't think I picked up on this the last time I was watching. I was like, her mom looks so familiar. Who is that?
Tracy
Tracy
Lords.
Lords.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, damn, look at Tracy Lords.
And the girl who plays the lead, she was from 90210, I think, or something like that.
Was she?
I think so. Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was like a, I don't know, like a model or model-esque. She really dumbed down, to play this part. She made her look homely. She doesn't look like that at all.
So
she looks more like the color version. When it gets vivid.
Yeah, funny you say that because I was like, okay, I was wanted to see who the mom was, so I totally Googled it, right? To see who Tracy Lords was, and the main character, her picture came up. I was like, holy shit, that's her, because in the movie she's not pretty at all.
Right.
Like at all. And he's got cold sores on it, it just looks dirty, and but yeah, she's actually really gorgeous, really pretty. So she's a great actress. And she played that part really well. But yeah, that's a pretty cool movie. Check that one out.
Yeah,
Excision.
I love it.
I think that's what. Am I saying it right? Excision.
Excision. Yep. There's actually a short of that too that you can check out. I think it's on YouTube. But he did a short before he did the feature.
Oh, I did not know that. Okay, cool. I love all the little. I don't even know what you call them. The little clips where she's dreaming or thinking, and
that's the fun.
So awesome. So awesome.
Yeah. Check out his other stuff too. He does. I like most of his movies that he's done, but yeah.
What's some of the other ones that he's done?
He did one called Trash Fire. It's not. Yeah, it's more of a drama than it is horror. There's some horror at the end, but it's not really a horror movie. Mm-hmm. Did that one. He did one called King Knight. That one's more of a comedy, but it's about witches. It's about like goth people, and there was one called Tone Deaf. That was pretty decent too. I like most of what he's done. Suburban Gothic was again more of a horror comedy, I guess you would say, but I enjoyed it as well. So yeah, he's a pretty good director.
Cool. I'll have to look up some more of his stuff then. Another movie I watched, I'd never even heard of this, heard of it, and someone randomly said, "Oh, watch this movie though, it's pretty good." It's called From a Whisper to a Scream.
From Whisper to Scream. Yeah, I've seen that cover a million times. I don't know if I've seen it or not, to be honest. Nothing registers when I'm thinking about it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh, that's so funny that you remember the cover of it.
Well, because it's that headless corpse, right? Holding the head or something like
that. It is. That's exactly what it is. Because I just pulled up my Slasher app where I posted it. That's exactly what it is. It's from 1987. It's a pretty good movie. I was like, how I've never seen this before. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Last movie on the list is Sweatshop.
Sweatshop. All right. So I'm a little nervous because I know how it is whenever I build something up and you think it's going to be completely amazing and you're let down. So I totally built this movie up.
Yeah, so I really liked it. The gore, the kill scenes. I like the idea that they were in like this rave and they were getting ready to do the rave. It was very different. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. And you're right, the director done good, but you said he kind of fell off, right? He hasn't done anything since then.
Yeah. He doesn't. I don't think he makes movies anymore. I think he does games or something. I don't know what he does. Not making movies, but yeah, he really should have went on and done some more. I don't know why this movie wasn't really talked about at all. Because the gore was fantastic, just great.
Absolutely.
Okay, what do you think about the part when the girl's crawling away and the kind of country guy comes in and she doesn't even have do you know what thing I'm talking about?
The guy that drives the Hummer, whatever, the country big guy.
So he's already like smashed this girl in half, right? Mm-hmm. And the guy comes in, he's like drunk and stuff, and he's trying to do the deed, but she doesn't even have a back half. Do you remember that? Oh my god.
His character, like, I loved his character. he had me laughing. And then when the chick broke him off with some, I was like, what the fuck? Like, he's so white. Why did she do that? And then I figured out why. But yeah, no, he made that movie funny. He put the comedy in it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. I hate that about the director, man. Wish he would have come out with something else, because he's really good, really good.
Yeah,
but
I don't know what happened there. Who knows about, everybody has different journeys. So I don't know what happened there. Again, maybe it didn't do as good as he had hoped it would have, and didn't make it anymore, because again, I'd never heard of it until now, and here we are, how many years later.
Yeah, right.
So, but yeah, you really should have, because it was well made. Everything worked. Again, the acting was okay, sufficeable anyway. Plot was enough to get you through it. It wasn't like amazing story, but the kills were great. And you don't really learn that much about the creature, or the creatures, and like the killer. But who cares? I didn't care. I didn't need to know anything about it.
I didn't care. I didn't care either. I was just like that. Yeah, the movie was so good, you didn't even need to know the backstory on it or anything. So
yeah, that's what I think. So if you like gore, I'd say check it out.
Yeah, Sweatshop is from 2009.
Yeah.
But that's all I got on my list. I told you I had a really short list tonight. So what about you? What have you been watching?
I've got a really short list too, actually. Not a whole lot. For me anyway.
I was gonna say, what is Mike's version of a short list?
There's not too many. So I did a rewatch of Censor from 2021. I'd seen this movie before. I mean, I like it. I don't think I like it as much as I should or want to, or I don't know. There's something about it that I really like, and there's something about it that I'm just like, I don't know. It's after viewing a strangely familiar video nasty, Enid, a film censor, sets out to solve the mystery of her sister's disappearance, embarking on a quest that dissolves in the line between fiction and reality. So it's about this girl who's like, she's editing horror movies, and she's really like censoring it. She's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost, it says video nasty, but it's kind of like she's working for the MPAA or something, So she's like, cut this scene out. It's too dirty, too gory or whatever. But anyway, so her sister's been missing, and she is editing these movies, and she finds her sister in the movie. And so she sets out to find her. I mean, it's pretty good. It's just,
that's pretty cool. I mean, that story seems pretty cool.
Yeah, and it's kind of Giallo-esque in parts too. And so I mean, all of the things are there for me to really like it. I dislike it. I don't love it for some reason, but it's worth a watch for sure. I just don't love it. I don't know. I don't know why.
Okay.
Weird.
Fair enough.
Next, I watched a little movie called All Jacked Up and Full of Worms.
All jacked up and full of worms.
Okay, you got to watch this movie. This movie is really, really weird.
All jacked up and full of worms.
Really weird. 2022. Two strangers get hooked on worms and slither into the primordial ooze. That's all the synopsis says. But okay, so you have, oh man, it's just so weird. You have this one guy who's lonely. He wants a baby. He orders a plastic baby or whatever, a mail order plastic baby. But he meets this hooker, and she's like, "Hey, you want to come with me?" And then she's trying to give him these worms and says, "Hey, this will get you high." And then there's this other subplot with all these other people, these three people, and they kind of intertwine, so this it's like worms or psychedelics or something, It's pretty wild, but it gets really crazy. I don't want to give too much of it away, but there's some parts that normal people would be like, turn off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And there's some body horror in here, some tentacles and stuff, and it's just a really weird movie. So, I can't recommend it for everybody, but I think you would like it just for the really strangeness of it all. It's out there. And then, I mean, there's blood and gore and body horror, and I know you like that stuff. So
Yeah, yeah.
But pretty, yeah, I don't want to give too much of it away. It's just, and there's maybe not even that much to give away, but it's just a good little journey. So yeah, worth a watch. You got to check that one out. It's on Prime.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Up next was a rewatch of The Deaths of Ian Stone. That's one of those horror film fests from back in the day, 2007, about this guy who just keeps dying, and then you learn why. Up next was 2008 Dance of the Dead. Now there was two Dances of the Dead that came out around that time. One of them was the Masters of Horror with Robert Englund. This is not that one. This is the zombie horror comedy one about at prom. It's pretty good. It's decent. It's just more comedy really than horror, I guess you would say. So if you're in the mood for that kind of stuff. Up next was 1987's Blood Diner.
Blood Diner? No, I've never even heard of it. No.
Okay, I've seen this cover for a long time, but for some reason I was getting confused with another movie, and I thought I'd already seen it. You gotta watch this movie. This movie is weird. Like, really strange. Two brothers are entrusted by their uncle to uphold the ritualistic cannibalism on the ancient cult of Shitar. In order to do so, they have to prepare a feast of sacrifice for the resurrection of their goddess. So you have this uncle who's dead. They take the uncle's brains and member, and they are killing all these people to make a body, which ends up being female. But it is bonkers.
Wait, what did you say the name of this was
again? It's called Blood Diner.
Blood Diner. Okay.
Wow. Okay. It's from 87. It is completely bonkers.
I mean, I'm probably going to watch it now, right?
You have to watch it. If you have a Roku, it's on the Roku channel. You can watch it there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect of this movie, but it is. There's plenty of blood and nudity and all kinds of 80s stuff, but and their dialogue, man, like that wouldn't happen today. That's what this movie would not be made today. Yeah,
because it's just politically correct or whatever.
Politically incorrect, yeah, I would say for sure.
Incorrect,
politically incorrect, for sure.
Incorrect, yeah, not correct, incorrect.
Absolutely, it's totally, completely politically incorrect, but it's funny. I like it. It's really, I like it. It's enjoyable. But man, I did not know what to expect. But Blood Diner, yeah, you got to check that one out. Cool. Just continue with that same sort of deal. 1993's Body Melt.
Body Melt? I'm like, I haven't heard of this one either. Body Melt.
So I think this one's on Shudder. I think this one dropped on Shudder. Residents of Peaceful Pebbles Court, Holmesville, are being used unknowingly as test experiments for a new body drug that causes rapidly body decomposition and painful death. This one is out there, man. It's another really, really weird one. Maybe not as funny intentionally as like Blood Diner was, but it's pretty funny in just the setup. But a lot of good gore, a lot of body horror. It's very, very strange. So if you're in the mood for a strange movie night, watch All Jacked Up and Full of Worms, Blood Diner, and Body Melt. And these are all like, what the hell?
Sometimes I like those, though. Yeah.
I do too. Yeah. And it's definitely.
I think it's because like we watch so many movies, so it takes a lot. It takes something different or special to. Because we watch so much shit. So I like watching weird stuff every once in a while,
Yeah. I like I said, those are all really enjoyable movies. I really think that you would like them. Probably not for everybody, but good enough.
Cool.
Up next was A Place Among the Dead. Now, this came out in 2020. Juliet Landau is the one who made this movie. Juliet Landau, if you don't know who that is, she is the daughter of Martin Landau. She was on Buffy, the Vampire Slayer. She played Drusilla on that show. That's really all I really know her from. Maybe I think I've seen her maybe on a couple of B horror movies, but nothing major. So I remember when she was like campaigning to do this movie, I thought it was supposed to be like a total like uh, documentary about vampires and stuff. That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what I think this movie's a cry for help. I don't know what this movie is. It's really strange. So it does have the interview stuff in it. So like she's interviewing like Gary Oldman and Josh Whedon and people like that. But so that part is in there, but that's not. But like, it starts out and it's like these footage and these voices, which I can only assume is supposed to be her parents, and they're saying like, "You're not good enough. You're never going to be as good as me." All this weird kind of stuff.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm like, is this what her parents told her? Like, it never really technically explains it necessarily. And I'm like, I think this might be like a weird cry for help. So it's really, I don't know how to classify this movie because it starts off with that sort of stuff and ends with it. But then then there's like the interview stuff. But then like there's this whole quote unquote movie about her trying to track down a guy who's killing people pretending to be a vampire. And then he captures her, and I'm like, I don't know what any of this is supposed to be. It's weird. Probably not for you, but weird movie.
And what was that? What was that called again?
It was called A Place Among the Dead.
A Place Among the Dead. Okay, I feel like I've seen like the cover of it or something. Yeah. It sounds so familiar, but after you just described it, I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's on Tubi, I think, but it's strange.
Okay.
Up next was a movie, 2023, Mother May I.
Okay, Mother May I.
So this one just dropped on Shudder not that long ago, I think. When Anya starts behaving like her fiance's recently deceased mother, Emmett must confront his deepest traumas to free his fiance from this bewildering possession. It's kind of strange because like they went to this house. I guess his mother died. She's like a certain way, and then all of a sudden, obviously, she's completely different. But it's just this whole sort of therapy sort of situation with them. It's decent. It's more of a thriller drama, I guess you would say, really, than a horror movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess horrific in its own way, but not really a all out horror movie though. But decent thing. I did a rewatch of the In Search of Darkness series, the 1 through 3, and I think that's where the bulk of my time has gone because those things are long.
They're very long. How long are they? Like 4 hours each or something?
Each is over 4 hours long. Like the first one is 4.5 hours. So
those are so good. I think I first heard about it from you, and I started watching it. Like sucks you in, and I believe it or not, I remember watching all of them all the way through. It's a really, really good documentary.
It is. It's just one that I can just revisit because you always catch something that you haven't seen before, and you go, "Oh, let me put that on my list," or let me go check that out real quick. And but yeah, very comprehensive. And they're actually making one about the '90s now, which I'm kind of getting excited about.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. I don't know if there'll be 3 for the 90s, but they're at least making 1 for it. So.
Oh, nice. Hey, I'll take it. I'm like a 90s gal.
Yeah. I mean, 90s, I don't say it's the great decade
Not the
for
best
horror.
decade for horror movies, but there's some good gems in there.
There's definitely some good stuff in there. I mean, I think the thing that hurts the 90s the most is the fact that they were starting to implement CGI, but they hadn't got there with the CGI to make it look good enough. And so you find a lot of movies have that sort of thing that just didn't age very well, so unless you can really kind of get that out of your head, it's kind of hard to go, oh, cheesy. Of course, I mean, not that, I mean, certain practical effects aren't either, but still it's just a little different,
Yeah.
Up next was Ballad in Blood.
Ballad in Blood.
Yeah, this one's from 2016 by Rogero Diodato, the guy who made Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, okay. Ooh, was it this an extreme movie?
Well, I mean, it's not extreme like that, but I mean, sure, I guess to a degree. I mean, there's definitely blood. I mean, there's blood. There's definitely a lot of nudity. There's stuff like that, you know?
I guess it depends, like, what your definition of extreme is. Everyone's
Right,
definition is
right,
different.
right. Yeah. It's three friends wake up on the day after Halloween in an apartment to find one of their roommates dead. None of the three friends initially remember what happened, but slowly the nightmare resurfaces. So yeah, I mean, I liked it. I mean, again, it had enough of checked all the boxes for me. Story wise, I mean, it's not like great or anything, but I think it's worth a watch. It's Italian, so it's going to have a little bit of that different feel because they're just a little bit different culture, you know, just a little bit. So, so you're going to experience that, but it's on Tubi. You can watch it on there. But yeah, it's got checks all the boxes. You got these three, and then people in the dead body, and you see a lot of the dead body in the you know, and like there's like these other like I don't know like goth punks that are trying to get them, and then there's also like this weird sort of mafia dwarf landlord guy. It's kind of in the picture. I don't know. I would say check it out. Watch the trailer, see if you think you like it, but I liked it.
And what's the name of this one again?
It's called Ballad in Blood.
Oh, Ballad in Blood. Okay. Ballad in Blood.
Mm-hmm.
Never even heard of it. I love listening to your list because you always have movies that I've never seen.
Yeah.
I'm like, probably like 50% of the movies I watch is like your recommendations.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I guess the biggest horror thing I watched was the presidential debate, but that's another story.
Oh my God. What the fuck?
That was another story.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's real horror for sure. Wow. We won't get into that tonight. We'll be on the phone all night long talking about that.
Yeah. That's all I got. You want to bring on our guest?
Yeah, let's bring him on.
All right.
So we have a special guest tonight, Mike. We have a repeat guest, someone we absolutely love. It's Michael T. Flynn with Wild World Productions.
Michael.
Hello. I feel like I need a punch card with you guys now. Like 12
yeah,
times.
I know, right?
Like a free stack of Mike's awesome movies.
Basically, yeah. What's up, man? How you been?
Busy.
Yeah.
Nonstop. I'm like, every day, I'm like, what project am I working on now?
You're always doing something, huh? That's cool. Tell us about some of your new endeavors.
Let's see. Today, I was on a shoot for Dare to Fail, and this one was not my own this time.
Okay.
Highlight of the day was making what I call meat blossoms.
Okay.
So,
what's a meat blossom? What is that?
It is a fancy way of making a charcuterie board where you shove your meat into a wine glass a certain way, and then you pop it out, and it looks like a rose.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. Now, this Dare to Fail, does this happen every month, or how often does this happen?
Generally, it's every month. Okay. And what it is a short film showcase where they give a theme. Mm-hmm. Every person entering has 1 minute time length for their film, and they can do whatever genre. They can interpret the theme however they want. I've been doing this for just over a year now, and gearing up for this next one. Really, really excited for it. Going to be doing another gimmick with it, so I'm going to actually have the audience choose the ending to the film.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's fun.
I'm going to have multiple endings, and I just, right as you guys called, I finished making these nasty paper masks that the audience are going to hold up to their face.
Very cool. Very cool. So we'll talk about this, but I know you referenced William Castle in something. We'll talk about that in a minute. But so this is kind of what you're doing. You're bringing the gimmicks back.
Pretty much. I just want the audience to have fun with it and do something more interactive. And like going to the movie theater experience is just kind of dying as a whole.
Right.
So just bringing gimmicks, and it adds a whole different level of creativity. Like what is going on with people.
Yeah, I wonder why it hasn't happened really since then, because now that things are more easily accessible, like imagine how hard it was back then to get theaters to do that, I would think. But now
Right.
it seems like, since they're corporations, they can just say, okay, here's what we're doing. But you just don't see it anymore,
Mm-mm.
You don't see it. And that's something that people will remember it. Even if they didn't like the movie, they're going to remember that fun experience that they had, I think, anyways.
Yeah, that's always that story to tell.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Very cool.
So Wild World Productions, is Wild World Productions like newer?
Yes. So a few months ago, I decided that, like, I've done so many different things artistically, taking so many different avenues, and I have like 14 different stage names at this point, and I wanted to do something that kind of encompassed everything that I do.
Okay.
So I created Wild World, which is based off my burlesque stage name, and then World just being everything.
Everything, because you do everything. You're literally the jack of all trades.
Right.
And I was telling Mike earlier, as telling him that you had a booth at the World Oddities Market, and I had no idea that you create these cool little shadow boxes with butterflies and moths, and like I had no idea that you even did anything like that, and it's so good too. so
Thank you.
so awesome. Yeah, I love your artwork. So yeah, I had no idea. I was like, wow, he really does everything, dabbles in all the things.
Yep, that was my mid-pandemic. I'm going to learn a new skill, and I want it to be weird. How do I taxidermy butterflies?
Oh, nice. Yeah. That's very cool. Very cool.
That's so cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I think we talked to you at FrankenCon, right? Because like for a hot minute, we kind of went around and was interviewing everyone, but you won, was it the funniest?
Yeah, funniest flick.
Funniest flick, and that was the Bachelorette Pool Party Massacre 3 Heatwave.
Yes, you got the title down. You win a brownie point.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes. I know. I was like, I think I screwed it up last time, but I got it this time. Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So if listeners wanted to watch it, is it available to watch anywhere?
Yes, all of my film work is available on Vimeo. That's at Wild World PROD, I believe.
Okay.
And then my Instagram has links to literally everything. So that's mr.michael.tanner.
Cool.
And
Very cool.
I noticed you're on Slasher. I was like, yay! He's
Yes.
on Slasher.
I'm on there once a month because I can't figure this out. I'm old.
Oh man, it's fun. I like Slasher just because it helps me remember like my list of movies that I've been watching.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing about it, for sure. For sure.
Definitely been trying to log slowly.
And you also did we did a little project where we put your movies on physical media, on Blu-ray and DVD recently. So you've got all these short films that you made over the years, and we've put them all on, and also a feature, and we put them on there. You've getting some response from that?
Yes. My college grindhouse professor actually reached out. He just retired, moved to Puerto Rico, saw my post about it, and he was like, I really need a copy of this. So that just landed in his mailbox today. He's super excited.
Nice.
Yeah, it
Very
was
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting. So are you gonna be setting up at any conventions and selling movies or anything like that? Or have you thought about doing anything like that?
Yeah, CreepyCon coming up August 2nd through 4th in Knoxville.
You're going to be at CreepyCon? Nice.
Yes.
Cool.
I'm going to be doing the CreepyCon thing. I'm going to have my short film collection with a booklet that turned out to be like a 40-page mini memoir instead of just fun facts.
Let's talk about that booklet now. I was so super impressed with this booklet. Now, Bridget, we came up with this concept at FrankenCon, which wasn't that long ago, right,
Mm-hmm.
Mike? We came up with this concept to do this. So I was working on the Blu-ray, and I got it finished and sent it to him, and he comes up with this freaking novel of content here, and I'm like, wait a minute. How long has he been working? Did you just start working on that when we started talking about this? Or was you already something you were thinking about doing? Because there's a lot of content there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was really weird how that came about. So we had the idea to do like all the films on one disc, and as I was going through them, I was just bombarded with like all these memories, stories, how I was feeling at the time, things I was learning, things that were happening in my life, and I was like, okay, it would be cool to have like something physical to hold to be able to read to kind of go along with each film.
Mm-hmm.
And it was originally just going to be fun facts, so I bullet pointed each film. There's 20 in total on the disc. And the fun facts turned into paragraphs, and then it just kind of turned into this whole story about how just me as a young guy into horror movies found out, oh, I can make my own. And then just this kind of whirlwind journey that I went on, going to college, film festivals, and then reaching a point in my life where just a lot of different things built up and I put it on the back burner, and then we pick up 7 years later and I'm getting back into it and feeling all these emotions again. So it's really written out as like an autobiography rather than just a fun fact sheet.
Yeah.
So if you buy, so I want to make sure I understand. So if you buy your movie, it comes with a book, this booklet that you've wrote of like, started off with fun facts. It comes with your movie, right?
Yes.
Well, that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
And it's
That's
really,
awesome.
really detailed version. It's got like all these pictures and everything, and just really well done. Like, I'm really impressed with it. And I appreciate the thank you at the end of it and everything. But but just down even to the cases look cool. I mean, he's really put a lot of thought into it.
That is so awesome. So if I wanted to buy one of these movies, or anyone wants to buy one, where do we go to buy it at?
They aren't available online yet. I'm still trying to debate on which kind of online service I want to use, because I will have all of my butterfly work on there and I will have movies. But the easiest way right now is just to shoot me a DM and we'll get it figured out from there.
Cool. All right. Nice. Awesome. I'm definitely going to have to get one of those now for my collection. For sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone doing anything like that, like a booklet with a movie. That is so fun. What a great idea.
Yeah, I just something to talk more about like the artistic journey than just what's presented. So
Yeah, that's awesome. Because yeah, you're right. Is different periods of your life, or for me, anyways, different periods of my life. I mean, you could be in different places in your life, and it might a movie or something you're writing could completely change just based off of what's going on in your actual life. That's pretty cool though that you did that. So you're right. It's kind of like an autobiography.
Yeah, and just I think a key point I had was not leaving anything out. And I see a lot of like independent filmmakers or even like big time filmmakers. They talk about their past work and they have a lot of disdain for it and they try to keep it hidden. And I tried to do that for a really long time. But I think that really hampers in a way because you need to know where you've been to know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, and where you've been to get where you're at today, for sure. That's the truth, for sure.
Oh yeah.
For sure. I didn't think about that, but you're right. A lot of them do. Actors too. They do it all the time. Like Mike and I've talked about this on the podcast where they, when they were a nobody, so they was taking roles, and then when they become famous, they want those little small parts, but that's how they got to where they're at.
Yeah, it's all a stepping stone.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, so good for you. So it talks about you talk about everything, all the films that you've done.
Yes, every single.
Yeah, it's really cool. And the Blu-ray is what, 20 shorts?
Yep, 20 shorts. It's probably longer. I bunched a few of them together just to
that's true. Yes,
make it a little cohesive. But yeah, we'll say 20 and keep it modest.
Okay, that's awesome. Awesome. I've got to check that out. And I'm so excited to work with you because when you did a clown photo shoot for me when I was campaigning for the Circus of the Dead 2 contest.
And
And you just,
congratulations.
yay, thank you. Oh my God. But I had so much fun. I had so much fun that day. I just kind of pitched that idea. We, Michael and I were on the phone. I was like, hey, I just kind of had this idea where almost like I'm having a conversation with myself as my clown character. And he's like, oh, I can totally do that. And we did it all like in a really short amount of time. And then all the photos you took, and you were so good. We was all ad lib. I mean, we just kind of come up with it on the spot. But I'd look at you and you kind of give me the direction. I was like, oh my God, he's really great to work with. But yeah, I'm super excited to work with you. I love it. I love everything. You made me so comfortable, and it turned out amazing. It turned out exactly how I wanted it to turn out. So awesome.
Yeah. It was such a fun day.
Yeah, it was totally fun. Yeah, and I got some good clown pictures, and I'm going to use some of those photos. I'm going to be in the next Clown Girl horror magazine. They reached out to me, and I was in it, God, like years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. And they're like, hey, it looks like you got a lot of stuff going on. You know, can we feature you in the magazine? I'm like, yes. So I am going to use some of the photos that you took from the photo shoot. So that's pretty cool.
Oh my God, do it. Because this is so funny. Right when we did that shoot, I did like a boudoir shoot for a friend. And those just got published in Bachelor Pad magazine. So you can pick up the new nightcap edition and see some other photos that aren't spooky.
Nice. Oh, that's awesome. Look, your work's going to be in magazines all over. That's pretty nice. So cool.
Right.
So
and it's just friends wanting to get together and have a good time, and it works out. And that's the best feeling.
It does. And you're a great photographer too. So good. It's when I'm clowning and I have those contacts in, it's really hard to get a good picture of me because I don't know why. It always makes my eyes look like they're drifting. But like, I don't know how you pulled it off, but you pulled it off. Like, I was like, oh my God, like I don't look like I have caca or anything.
Right. I think we just had the clown god shining down on us that day.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Clown gods and Diet Mountain Dew. That's how you get stuff done.
Hell yeah. That's so awesome. Cool. Yeah. So do you anything else you have going on? God, you're so damn busy. I was like, it worked out great to bring you on the podcast tonight because you always have new projects. Always.
Right. Always. When you called me up, I was like, oh God, I need to get my list ready. I don't even know what's happening. I guess aside from the choose your ending things, so that is going to be July 20th.
Okay.
I think it's a place called Begonia Labs. It's with the Kindling Arts Festival in Nashville, so tickets can be found there. Next Saturday, this is one that I was backstage one day. Someone comes up to me and says, how would you feel about your Aunt Judy character doing some Jello wrestling?
Oh, wow.
and I took a sip of a PBR and I said, hell no. And then my eye twitched and I was like, count me in.
So, I was going to say, you turning that down? Kind of like a fun time.
I did for half a second, then I was like, no, this is a story to tell the grandkids I may or may not have. So, yeah, it's going to be at the Cobra next Saturday, July 6th. It's going to be half burlesque show, half Jello wrestling. There's going to be a hot dog eating contest, a wet t-shirt contest, and a bunch of other stuff that I can't remember right now.
Oh,
but that just sounds like a good time. It's Nashville, right? Nashville.
East Nashville, right?
Yeah, East Nashville at the Cobra.
At the Cobra. I've never even been there. Is that a new venue?
No, it's been I used to Uber and Lyft down there. I used to take people there all the time.
Oh, really? Okay, I've never been there before. Cool.
It used to be called Foo Bar. Now it's the Cobra. It's kind of like the alternative goth bar.
Right. When it was Foo Bar, it was more like punk, right? Because I was there a couple of times in Foo Bar, and it was more, well, when I was there anyway, it was kind of a punk kind of a scene there a few times. But yeah, it's more like you said, there's goth and there's some biker nights too, I think, right? And
I think so.
maybe some heavy metal nights as well.
Yeah, Foo Bar, I've definitely been there, so I didn't realize that was the same place. Cobra, I like that name so much better than Foo Bar. Oh man, cool. All right, awesome. So let's just check that out. And for the July the 20th, where did you say to go to buy tickets at?
Googling the Kindling Arts Festival,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll be getting a link to that ticket site up on my Instagram as well. So that'll be in my bio links.
Is that
Awesome.
all? That's also in Nashville, right?
Yes, it's in Nashville. It's a new venue. I'm not sure where it's at, but it's somewhere here.
Very cool.
Mike,
Cool.
you might need to plan a trip to Nashville in the near future.
Yes, get your spooky paper mask because my fingers hurt now.
How many masks did you make?
I made 100 of them.
Oh my gosh! Wow! That is dedication, man.
Yes,
that's cool. It's really cool that you're doing all this stuff, kind of bringing back some of that neat old school stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Throwing spaghetti at the wall, seeing what sticks.
Hey, that's the way to do it.
That's right. Cool.
Absolutely.
So inspiring. We love talking to you and bringing you on because you're so inspiring. So inspiring.
Thank you.
And creative. Love it.
Yep.
And
all right,
guys, I love chatting with you.
Yay!
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck with all this stuff, and we will talk to you soon.
Sounds like a plan. I will talk to you guys very soon.
Always great chatting with you. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
All right, man. Later.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Michael T. Flynn. He is a writer, director, filmmaker, taxidermist, photographer, artist, just a little bit of
all the things.
He's just an artist in every sense of the word, I guess you'd say.
He is.
Yeah,
so
singer.
Cool.
He does some singing on one of his songs. He sings on one of his songs, I think, or at least he's lip syncing. I don't know if he's singing or not, but he does a little bit of everything. So burlesque.
Burlesque.
So much stuff going on there.
Yeah. Busy job. Love him though.
Crazy. Yeah.
It's so cool. Cool.
And it was really fun to make those Blu-rays and DVDs of his, and so he's got the physical copies out there. So
I need to go and buy one of those movies. Like, I'm so excited about it. So excited.
Yeah,
I was like, when y'all were talking about the booklet, I was like, what booklet are you talking about? So it sounds pretty cool.
Everybody should bombard him and say, hey, I need a copy of your movie. So, there you go.
Do it.
All right. Well, I think that's all I got for this week. Have you got anything else?
I think that's it.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think everybody should do this one little thing for me. Just one little thing. You know what it is?
What is it?
It's stay hardcore. Just like that. All right. Well, until next time. Later.
Bye.
Wow, that's hardcore.
Nothing harder.
Hardcore horror with Mike and Bridget is a part of the Tennessee Horror Podcast Network.